The helicopter engine started up with its distinctive high-pitched whine. Slowly, the blades began turning, adding a second distinctive sound. There is no sound like that in the world, thought Tom Kirkland. He got excited every time he heard it. His blood pumped. He loved that sound, which made him feel fully alive when he heard it. He'd heard that sound plenty of times. He was a Special Forces soldier in the 1st Special Forces Group at Fort Lewis. Most of his fellow Green Berets joined the Patriots. Not Tom, though. He had a job to do, and he was only able to do that job by not joining the Patriots. It was complicated, but it was just the way it was. "We have a credible report of a teabagger position outside of Olympia," Joe Brown, the military intelligence, or MI, officer, told Tom. "It should be a cakewalk. No anti-aircraft defenses, of course," the MI officer said to Tom and rolled his eyes. "Just some dumbass hillbillies. A cakewalk." Tom nodded. He was in charge of the TOC, the Tactical Operations Center at Camp Murray. It was a military base and seat of the legitimate government of Washington State. He managed the raids that went out. He couldn't go out on them because of his left hand, which was severely burned a few weeks before the collapse and was put on medical leave from his unit. Tom heard the sound of helicopters warming up several times a day at Camp Murray. Intelligence reports were now streaming in about so-called Patriot positions throughout Washington State. Well, western Washington State, Tom corrected himself. The half of the state with Seattle and most of the population. The Patriots were becoming bolder and effective, Tom had to admit. When the collapse first happened in May, the Patriots weren't much of a factor, and they especially weren't a threat. May had been the month of chaos. Neither side could organize much of anything. In June, the mayhem of the situation calmed down quite a bit for civilians. They were getting fed under the hastily created F-card system. It seemed as if everyone, the government, the Patriots, and especially the population, was settling into a new and very different routine. Not that people were adapting easily, just that they were adapting. Political killings became part of that new routine that developed in June. The assassinations started on the very first day of that month. It wasn't full-scale military action. It was a string of assassinations with rifles, pistols, even knives, and an occasional small bomb. The number of assassinations was actually small, a dozen or so state legislators, some mid-level federal officials, and about 100 local elected officials, like county commissioners and city mayors. Despite these seemingly small numbers, the assassinations still shocked everyone. Political killings were not something that had ever been part of the American landscape. It was both frightening and hard to wrap their heads around. In the beginning, the media ran huge stories on the first few assassinations, but as they continued and became more common, the media quit covering them. Why continue to scare the population and contribute to additional anxiety and chaos? Tom got the daily briefings at the TOC during the month of June. Because of that, he knew that the Patriots were popping up everywhere, and it was way beyond a law enforcement issue where individual assassins could be caught and the problem would stop. This was a much larger and well-organized problem for the legitimate authorities. Knowing a war was inevitable, both sides tried to organize militarily during the month of June. While a war might not have seemed inevitable to the general population, Tom and the Loyalist military planners knew what was coming. Their intelligence reports showed the formation of hundreds of small and large Patriot regular and irregular units. Most of the military had defected, and now they were getting ready to finish off what was left of the old government.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.